We're so happy to be at Huga, this very cool co-working space that I think reflects the kind of innovation and entrepreneurship that's taking place in Charlotte. So thank you, Garrett and Kayla, for hosting us here. Tonight's event is presented in partnership with Allstate. Our thanks to the Allstate team for its support in so many ways over so many years. We really appreciate that. I'm going to start with a confession. I live in Washington, D.C., and it's actually a terrific place to live. But, and this will come as no surprise, it's become the nation's capital for not getting things done. A kind of a locus for a kind of paralysis and polarization. In stark contrast, what we see across America is a kind of surge of civic innovation. Local entrepreneurs, like many of you here in the room, are finding creative solutions to the social and economic challenges that are facing the country. For the last year and a half, the Atlantic has been engaged in a nationwide search to identify some of these problem solvers, grassroots innovators in local government, small businesses and nonprofits, and public-private partnerships. Earlier this year, we celebrated the top individuals and organizations to emerge from this first year of search.
All right. And yet, I project pretty well. So earlier this year, we celebrated the top individuals and organizations to emerge from this first year of searching. And today, the Atlantic is issuing a call for nominations for the second installment of the Renewal Awards. The awards process will culminate in April 2017 with 5 winners, each receiving a $20,000 grant from Allstate to further their work. You can learn more and make your nominations at therenewalproject.com. Of course, there's a good bit of problem solving happening right here in Charlotte, and that's why we're gathered today, to talk about what your city considers its top priorities in education, in infrastructure, in the workforce, and the economy, and to discuss how to make progress on all of these fronts. Before we dive into this discussion, I'd like to welcome Bill Goff, Field Vice President for the Southeast region of Allstate, to make some brief remarks. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob, and good evening, everybody. I appreciate you being here. As Bob said, we are not a new partner with the Atlantic. We've been partnering at Allstate with the Atlantic since 2009. And it's great to be together again with Bob and his organization. I want to thank you for spending part of your evening with us. And I hope by now you've had the opportunity to look around the space. And if you have noticed, you will see the Renewal Project beginning to come to life here, whether it is through some of the social media applications that exist, the poll data that I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more about before the evening is over, and even the Renewal Awards itself being launched for the second year now in this great space where local innovators are working to improve the community through innovative solutions. As Bob said, Allstate and Atlantic launched the Renewal Awards last year in 2015 to celebrate those local innovators, like the people right here working at Huga. And so it seems very fitting that we're here in this space to launch the second annual awards. You know, if you have watched the news media and look at the stories in the news, you know that we're reminded every day that there's so many challenges across America in cities and towns across the land. And yet, for each one of these stories of challenges, there are literally hundreds of stories of individuals and organizations that are representing hope and change. So one goal of the Renewal Project for Allstate is to share those positive stories of both individuals and organizations making communities stronger. I'm delighted to be with you in your neighborhood tonight. As Bob admitted, I am not a resident of Charlotte, but Charlotte is part of the Southeast region, the 4 states that we serve here in the Southeast region. And if you've seen some of the poll data on the screens around the room, you'll know I'm not alone in my admiration of Charlotte. 80% of residents would recommend to friends that they should move to this area. So indeed, Charlotte is a very, very good place to be. We also saw through the poll that tremendous eagerness that exists for new ideas and solutions at a local level. Most people think of Allstate as a corporation, and we might have been noted for our history of innovation over the years, helping to keep communities like Charlotte safer, We've led the charge for seat belts and airbag standards, which today are now commonplace and almost not even thought of. We're at the forefront of raising awareness of the dangers of texting and driving through our X the Text programs. And we continue to innovate with telematics, our application called DriveWise, which encourages safer driving and allows particularly parents to monitor how well their children are driving. But in the spirit of advancing the story of entrepreneurship tonight, I want to share a story about one of our local agents, a Charlotte area agent by the name of Matt Flesh. As I said, while most people think of Allstate for the corporation that we are, many don't realize or don't think about the fact that we're really more a network of over 10,000 small business owners, including 43 Allstate agency owners here in the Charlotte area. As an independent small business owner, Matt Flesh faces the common challenges of 21st century in how to stay connected with customers and prospects and how to attract new customers. And in an environment with changing behaviors, consumer behaviors, and such restrictions and realities as the do not contact registries, Matt innovates through technology. Using social media, Matt has turned the paradigm of small business upside down. Rather than futile attempts trying to reach out and connect with his customers and prospects, he uses technology and social media to make it easy and practical for customers to find him. So this is one way that he's advancing through innovation and technology. Matt also combines the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship with a sense of service to the community. So presently, Matt serves on 4 local area not-for-profits through his time, talent, and treasure. So it's those hundreds of stories like Matt's that encourage us, and stories both inside Allstate and beyond that inspire us to support and promote the Renewal Rewards and the Renewal Project. America is renewing itself from the ground up. We're excited to continue to work together and think big and amplify and reward good work in the communities. I thank you again for being here. Enjoy the evening, and I'll turn it back to Bob. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, very much. Just a couple notes before we get going. Please do silence your cell phones, but don't put them away. We'd love for you to participate in the conversation, ask questions on Twitter using the hashtag Renewal Series. And also, we'll have audience Q&A at the end of both segments tonight, so be thinking of any questions. We'll have microphones circulating through the room, not that they will be necessary. Now, let's get rolling. We're going to open with a conversation with Mayor Jennifer Roberts. Elected last year, Mayor Roberts brings business and government experience to the mayor's office. She's also a former high school math teacher who's focusing on the importance of good schools and of closing the skills gap to build a workforce ready for the future. She'll be in conversation with my friend and colleague, Ron Brownstein, senior editor at The Atlantic, who's ready to go.